From Udupi hotels to Tinseltown, Mumbai, Sunil Shetty has carved a different style of his own. His films are different from most of his contemporaries. His pairing with Akshay Kumar, his brief but poignant role in Border, the perfect comedy of Hera Fairy, a career spanning almost 3 decades. Sunil Shetty is also a martial arts expert. He's a businessman of repute, and many of you will know him as the father-in-law of cricketer KL Rahul. So, Namaskara, Sunil Avare.
Namaskara. Enchalari.
Usha Rolle, you tell me how you are. And firstly, I have to say that this podcast goes out to all my cousins, aunts, uncles in Tulunadu.
So sweet.
So they've all been like, when are you going to talk to our Kudla boy? So this is for them. And I was listening to all your podcast, and of course, I won't call you Anna because you're my contemporary, but also a little tip for those who call, may I call you Sunil if that is okay? Those who call Sunil as Anna. Anna is rice and Anna is brother. So you don't want to say Anna, you want to call him Anna, right?
Wow.
So
I never realized that till now.
Yeah?
I mean, I didn't focus on it because, you think
keep hearing
brother. I hear it differently, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I was like, why is he not correcting them? Then I realized you're essentially a very polite person.
No, but it's also the love, the affection, so.
And it's conditioning, right?
Yeah,
you keep hearing Anna all the time.
Absolutely. If somebody says Sunil, I might not react now.
Huh.
In public, in general. And the tendency is whenever I'm walking, I'm always turning around suddenly thinking somebody I know has called me. Because they keep saying Anna. Yeah.
And they don't say Sunil Anna.
No, they say Anna.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, especially from the north, believe that, okay, Anna is, yes, elder brother, but they'll say Anna G.
Yeah.
Anna itself is respect.
Yeah.
So when they add a G to it, that's when you feel कि नहीं G नहीं होता है इसमें, direct होता है.
Yeah, it's like I guess Salman Khan is always bhai all the time.
Absolutely.
The same way you have.
Jackie is Dada. So the few of us have our.
But it's like when Kamal Haasan came or when Rajnikant came into the film industry, nobody called them Anna in Bombay, right?
I don't think then they did. For me, I think it started with Bachchan Saab when we were shooting for Kaante.
Yeah. Oh God, what a brilliant small movie. That was fabulous.
Yeah. And then Bachchan Saab said, I think once, he said, Anna, I should call you Anna. So how do you react to God saying anything? You can call me what you want. And then it was Dutt who, Sanjay Dutt. So who pushed it in, and he has his different ways and moods of calling me Anna. So if he believes I'm upset, he'll say Anna. Otherwise, he'll say it in a different way. So he's different.
Yeah, but how would Mr. Bachchan call you Anna? He's so much older than you.
I don't think it was for age. He just did. I don't know why. That's exactly what surprises me. Probably because my team, because there were a lot of people, boys from Mangalore itself who called me Anna, and then he probably liked the way it sounded, and he did.
Yeah.
And.
So it's like in the office, a cousin of mine once was interning and she called me Akka.
Huh.
And this was in Delhi, right? So people thought like, in Urdu, mere Akka. So they were like, she calls you Akka? I said, no, Akka is older sister, like Anna. Yeah. So saying like Sunil Shetty Anna. I said, yeah, okay, just like that. Figure it out,
Yeah, Akka, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, even sis is in, we work out of the same office because we do things jointly, of course, other than cinema. They call her Akka too. And, you're so used to it now. I already called her Suju earlier, but then if I'm addressing to her, I'd never say Suju. You guys, did you speak to Suju? You spoke to Akka? What did Akka say? So it happens. And sounds beautiful.
So where is home for you? Is it like, because we're talking about Tulunadu, we're talking about Kannada, Tulu. So where is home? When you think of home, do you think of Mumbai or do you think of Karnataka?
Mulki, Mangalore, always. Why? Because my Kuldevi is there. My Nagstan is there. My Bhutastans are there. So I think that connect is too powerful. Wherever I've gone, and the learned people I've met, astrologers, pandits have always said, आपकी कुल बहुत strong है, आपको कहीं जाने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं. And everywhere I've gone, people have told me that. He said, आप कुल की पूजा करते हो ना, कुछ नहीं हो सकता. खराब टाइम आएगा जाएगा आप सबके लिए. And I've been seeing that, you know, and I've been seeing that year after year. I mean, even with Rahul, when they said, you know, he was going through this tough period, but his belief in his kul, our belief in where we come from, the soil, it's a different high. And that's why I'd always say, my karma bhumi is Mumbai. It's given me everything and more than I've ever dreamed, this small boy, small town boy, like it did to my father. But Durga Parmeshwar, you know, the Bapanath temple, and the beauty, unity in diversity is Mulki for me, Bapanath for me. A Muslim family builds a temple, and Durga Ma is there. And even today, when you begin the Aarti, you know, during Ter, when Ma comes out for the first time, she goes to their home first. And then she moves out to the rest. So whether it's fisher folk or Christians or Muslims or any Hindus or Sikhs, they're all there during that festival. And that's that one time all our brothers, siblings from every family, at least one member is there. Those 3-4 days with, of course, 10,000 other people who are there, to the pulling of the Rath, the bathing of Ma, and after Ma it's bathed, she comes home for the first time. So her first puja after a bathing happens at our home at the Nagastan, and from there she goes into the temple only to come out a year later. So you know, those are things that are so strongly connected with me that I close my eyes, I always go back there.
Your parents took you back because you lived in Mumbai most of your life.
Yeah.
Your parents kept taking you back to Mulki for summer vacations, or was it more often?
I was in love with my grandparents, and the only place I wanted to be was with them. You know, and paddy fields, roosters, the bullock, the kamblas, the bhutas. Now everybody talks about it, of
after
course,
the film.
after Kantara. But if you see the performance also of the boy, the last 15 minutes, I think he had Ma in him.
But did you see Bhuta Kola?
Yeah, all through. Every year we saw it, and every year, even now, Bhuta happens, but not necessarily the Kola. The Bhuta Puja happens, but Kola happens in the grandma's brothers' homes, and we go there. So it's something that we always believed in. Nobody did believe in it. Nobody believed that it could be so powerful. It's only after the movie.
Yeah.
And every time others, I said, "Yaar, kya bhoot pret mein aap log
Exactly.
believe karte ho," you know?
It's such a lived experience. I can totally understand that.
But today when people see it, you know, and they've seen, and the performance of that kid, I remember Ahan, me, Rahul, Ahan's friends, whole lot of us went to see the film in Mumbai in the theatre, and I thought we were the only ones crying, but I saw everybody feel that energy.
Yeah.
I think that's what took the film where it belonged, and
Was it? Tell me. I felt a disconnect between my friends who had no such experience, who didn't go to the Tota, didn't understand that smell of the first
rains, wet mud.
Correct. Living in the north, which is dry climate, which is a different field. The सरसों का खेत का जो खुशबू है वो और जो paddy fields में जो खुशबू है, that is a different thing altogether. Or any season for that matter, there was a disconnect between one life and the other life. You just slipped into it, but those two worlds didn't meet at all. Did you feel like that when you were in Mumbai? Like
No, never. No. I belong to both the places. Like I said, my karma bhumi is Mumbai, and Mumbai gave me everything that I probably dreamt of. But wanting to go back to my roots all the time, probably every vacation, Dad used to run the bus service, CPC, between Mumbai and Mangalore. And the bus left at 5:36 in the morning. But the day his children got over with their exams, if the exams got over at 10:30 or 11, the bus left at 12 o'clock that day. Because from school, home, backpack, straight into the bus. straight get off at Mulki the next morning. You know, it was an 18-20 hour journey through Agumba Ghat and everything. So all those
Terrifying,
things. Yeah,
those
absolute.
hairpin bends.
Absolute. And the pujas that happened when we stopped to do that, the filling of the water.
But there was no fear. Somehow, nobody feared death at that stage.
Nobody did. Nobody did. We knew it was a journey, and every time I left, I would be howling. My grandma would be howling, and I would be, so upset with her, saying, "Why do you want to send me then? Why do you want to send me back? Let me stay with you." You know, it was that kind of obsession. So then every holiday there was, we ran away. If it was more than 10 days, it was Mangalore for me. Because for me, Mangalore was backwaters. It was night fishing. It was plying the fields, doing everything possible that we did in the field. So my memory, extremely strong memories.
So if that was your background, then why films? Why did you want to get in? And for a middle class kid, didn't your parents say, go to Manipal, doctor, engineer, whatever?
इंजन प्रोटेक्शन लंबा चलेगा, गाड़ी का माइलेज लंबा चलेगा, इंजन का कूलिंग लंबा चलेगा.
High Perf Engine Oil, a new vision of performance.
No. For a middle class family, my father definitely told me one thing, that this is only how much I have. I'm keen that I send my daughters abroad, to educate them, because girls are the ones who definitely need to be educated. You will take care of yourself somehow. So will it be you or your younger one? Because the older one, I've already, she's on her way there. And I still remember Dad talking to me, and I said, no, Dad, send them. Because I was such a mama's boy and such a grandma's boy that I didn't want to get out, And because till the 10th grade for me, it was only Mangalore. And no other, I don't think I saw anything else. Abroad, to forget about it. But I'm saying, even within India, we did go to little hill stations. But there was nothing other than that, and I never regretted. So for me, it was always that. And that's why I continue, to say, to tell him that I would want to join you. I want to start making money. I want to, because I used to see Dad work really hard, though he gave us time. And then he was unwell when I was 14 or 15. He had an incident. They said it was heart, and he was there for 2-3 days. So I was absolutely destroyed. And that impacted me a lot. And I said, I need to help him. So I got out of 10th grade, gave my exam, and the next morning I was with him in the restaurant.
In the Udupi hotels.
In the Udupi restaurant, helping him with whatever he wanted. So I was very clear, and he was very clear. Okay, I said, I'll do my hotel management and do it. So, and Dad being Dad, because he was uneducated, always believed that the advantage of him not being educated was that he could take a risk in life.
There's only upwards you can go now.
Upwards. Otherwise, he would have been in Vijaya Bank, or Mr. Sundaram Shetty would have set him up somewhere, because that's what he's done with the entire community.
Yeah.
And he would have done that. So he says, I was lucky that somewhere down the line I wasn't educated, because I could pursue the dream and work hard to do that.
Tell me something about the Bunt community. They help each other tremendously. Everybody tries to do something or the other for the community. I've seen that. And I've seen that in you too.
See, because I think Atithi Devo Bhava is what we believe in, yes. But we are restaurateurs, basically. And what is restaurants all about? You see that in Sunil Shetty, not because Sunil Shetty, I think it's a part of Sunil Shetty's DNA that he's that way, because I come from the restaurant trade. Used to working 20 hours a day, used to sleeping with the boys, eating with the boys, because 60 of them stayed in this one little restaurant, nights, days, everything. We had no other accommodation, we couldn't afford it. The discipline in the restaurant of having wash, because the restaurant was closed on Wednesdays, every Tuesday night we used to wash the restaurant. So all of us used to do it together, get all the equipment out, clean every nook and corner, of the restaurants. So, and small customer base, area-wise. So Dad always said, don't argue with anybody, because if you lose him, you've lost that business. Your food bill would be less than probably their travel bill if they decide to come from somewhere else. So this is your jurisdiction, hold on to it. So customer always being right, opening the door for people, That's a part of your DNA. When the world is partying, you're working. Christmas, New Year, festivals, those are your biggest days of business. So I think that becomes a part of you. And that's why everybody says, ki, is it a put on? Are you actually like that? Since the age of 15, I've only seen it that way. My father has only done that since the age of 9.
Yeah.
I have not seen any other world, and I don't know any other world.
You keep speaking about your father. He played a very important role in your life. He was your mentor. There was one interview that I read in which you said that he taught me lessons that shaped my life.
Yeah.
For overseas viewers, and just a small primer, Sunil Shetty took a break from films when his father was unwell. His father's name is Veerappa Shetty. He suffered a stroke. And this was in 2014, and Sunil Shetty was doing 4 to 5 films a year. And when his father fell ill, he took a break from films to look after his father. So tell me about this period in your life.
I think it happened naturally. It wasn't planned that I was working and he was in bed and he wanted me all the time next to him. There's this always father-son clash that happens at a certain age. You always believe, no, I want to do my own thing. Father says, you got to do this. So there's this unspoken little tiff that always happens, and that's when I believe that's the age where a father and son never get physical with each other, never express their feelings for each other, knowing very well that they care for each other.
My God! ये रेडियो देख के दिल गार्डन हो गया। 10,000 रुपए दूंगा इसके। QR कोड स्कैन कर पैसे तुरंत तुम्हारे अकाउंट में। बोला।
कंगाल होकर ही मानोगे? कितनी बार समझाया है? UPI कहता है QR कोड पेमेंट करने के लिए होता है, रिसीव करने के लिए नहीं। अपने पैसों का ध्यान खुद रखो। गुड बाय बैडमैन।
I'll be back.
आप भी इस वीडियो को शेयर करें और अपने आसपास के भोले को बचाएं।
I think that's the period, because I was working in cinema and I was away from him. It started getting to me. I started getting irritable. If it was a 9 o'clock shift, I'm always there, bang on time, ready. Probably in half an hour earlier if I have to get ready, or an hour earlier. But I also want to go at that time, because I've manifested the fact that by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'll be with him and I'll do this. And also designed it and planned accordingly. It never used to happen, because, sir, 1-2 घंटा रुक जाएंगे, 1-आधा घंटा रुक जाएंगे. And I was becoming a person that I was not. Angry, unhappy. And when I sat down and, at nights when you think, what now? Will Dad come out of it? I got the feeling that something is going wrong. And I just decided that, whatever I haven't started, I'll put an end to it. Whatever I'm doing, I'll complete it and out with it. And that's exactly what I did. And I think that was the best decision I took in my life. There was so much that I realized, that it's not only Dad, it's Mom, it's the kids, it's Mana, everybody who needs a lot more of me, and I need a lot more of myself. And that's why I think it was the night he died, and in the morning, even work stopped coming to me, because people actually believe that he's not working. The day he died, in that morning, I got one of the biggest shows from Z, and they said, there's this health show, would you like to do it? And it was like, seriously, a health show, something that is up my alley, a fitness show. Dad is no more, I don't know what to do. Let me take it.
A new path opened up.
My path opened up, and I haven't looked back since. I choose to do what I want to do now.
Right.
I choose to do less. I don't want to be a part of any rat race or any positioning. I was never a part of that anyways.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. I made friends, and anybody could be number one. If my films worked, I didn't use my PR or get onto the rooftop and shout about it. If I had a PR, I think it was much later in life, and their job is to just make sure that if somebody does connect, be there to answer to them. Whether it's a no, whether it's a yes, don't play this stardom game or anything with them. And I don't want to talk about what is happening in my life. if they believe something is happening, then we'll talk about it, you know.
You never played by the rules of this city, of
Yeah.
Mumbai. You acted in 2 hero movies, zero ego.
Absolutely.
You didn't fight for screen space. Didn't you feel at that time a little bit insecure that if I keep acting in 2 hero movies, I may not get it? Because, you know, your pairing with Akshay was superb. Like, literally the screen would come on fire when the two of you were together. There was a chemistry which was very evident.
Yeah, but you know what happens is, because of the background that I came from, and I realized that this is the way life is and this is the way it's supposed to be. I don't know other way. My heroes were Vinod Khanna, Jackie Shroff, Sanjay Dutt, Sunny Deol, because they were the ones who had just come in a little before us. It never mattered to them. The hero film, they were. So I actually started believing that that's the way stardom is, yeah? I mean, you don't have to act like a star. If you have it in you, it's a part of your DNA. You know, Mr. Bachchan, they all did double hero film. So I thought that's the way it is, and that's the way it was, because every double hero film that I did was successful, and I got my share of love and affection and, you know, appreciation. So I went with that. I never went on to the editing table or kya ho raha hai.
You don't look at the monitor?
No. Even today I don't look at the monitor. 90%, 99% of the time, my directors will say, "Sir, monitor dekho." And I say, "Nahi, theek hai na. We've sat down on it. No, it's okay. You do your job." You know, because what has also happened along the way, I've realized that when an actor gives an input in a scene and the director says, "Sir, brilliant," we start believing that we're writing that scene, or not realizing that somebody else has created it, and we are giving, you know, probably bits to improve the character or the scene because of our experience. So I never wanted to get into that side of things. Let it be your journey. I'm a part of that journey. If we can, my job is to execute and what you're asking me to, and that's exactly how it went.
But when you were talking about, say, Sanjay Dutt and Sunny Deol and all, their dads were in the film industry. You had nobody, no godfathers, no uncle, nobody to give you that break. So how did you make your way in?
I got an opportunity thanks to my martial arts. You know, Rajiv saw me on stage and believed I was damn good. Rajiv Rai and a friend of mine called Shabir Boxwala, and Shabir used to keep very close to me, kept telling Rajiv, "You should take him. Rajiv said, "Theek hai, send him to JP Singhal, let's have a photo shoot done." And we did the photo shoot. Singhal Sahab was a magician, a genius, basically a painter, so he looked at things differently, and he had these huge posters of me and started promoting me. Where Pailaj Nilani saw me, and Rajiv's film didn't happen, but I got Pailajji's film. And probably one of the biggest launches were done with me, you know, because I was different. I was different because all muscle, and there were very few action stars at that time. So I got Balwan. Balwan released, did very well, but I was written off by one of the top critics who ruled the roost then and said, you know, that he can't make it. He needs to go back to his Udupis. He needs to sell idlis again. And though it was personal, it hurt. It hurt a hell of a lot. And I was angry also. But then when I sat back, I realized acting class to kini. You didn't educate yourself. Because of martial arts, you believed you can make it. And you made it. Only martial arts and that discipline, that background, that restaurant culture has taken you where you have. If you want to stay put, you need to do something about it. Now, there was no time to go back to acting class and stuff like that because I already signed 3-4 films. How do I excel in that? I started doing death-defying stunts. I started jumping from the 6th floor, train stunts, bike stunts. Establish myself as that action hero. Pagal hai yaar wo. Masses se pagal hai.
Yeah.
And that pagal hai gave me that action tag. The Delhi, the UP, the CP, the CI, what India, why the reason why people say India is it, economy-wise, GDP-wise, in any way, is because of these very people. And probably I understood it earlier because they just took up to me. And I survived because of that. And then I learned my craft along the way. So it was again like probably dad learned his restaurant business, by cleaning tables and going up. My journey has been similar, but in a different field altogether.
Your martial arts, I have to say this, that the earlier South Indian actors who came in, I mean, the people that I would again talk about is Kamal Haasan or Rajnikant. They were not, you didn't associate them with brawn.
Yeah.
And so that's why probably that the critic was nasty enough to say go back to your hotel.
Absolute.
Because
Absolute.
you don't associate. You see the Vinod Khannas and the brawny Punjabi
Yeah.
macho male.
Yeah.
The South Indian supposed to be the cultivated,
True.
soft. Maybe the Amol Palekar kind.
Yeah, the softer ones.
The softer ones. Whereas
Actors.
you were breaking the mold every time.
Yeah.
You were
True.
you were doing, and you were successful then at action movies.
Yeah, absolute.
You're probably the only one I can think of as a South Indian who came into the film industry and became an action hero from.
And lasted.
Lasted.
A lot of them came, went back. Of course, they're legends where they are. But surviving in Mumbai was impossible.
The only other one was the Shetty, the villain, right?
Of course, yeah. That's
Iconic guy.
Rohit Shetty's
Yeah,
dad.
this brawny guy
And one of the best action directors.
Yeah.
And somebody we all looked up to because
Correct.
he was there and he was tough.
And he was
Everybody
scary
spoke.
on screen,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. He was very
But
tough.
you
very
weren't.
tough.
You were like, even your songs were, and of course, everybody, my team was like, ma'am, wo hi hukku. And I completely forgot. For me, my favorite is Sheher Ki
Sheher
Ladki.
Ki Ladki, yeah.
I did Raveena Tandon's interview out here, and I told
yeah.
her about Sheher Ki Ladki, and I said, we had done this year-ender with a whole bunch of people, Anand Ranganathan and, Abhijit and all. All the 90s kids, right?
Yeah.
For them, you and Akshay
music,
and Raveena,
yeah.
the Mora song.
Yeah.
When
The cheese
all
vadi
these,
must.
yeah. You guys were like iconic. Your songs and it's still there.
Yeah, and someone for me it was a dancer with two left feet, but still with the best music. And that's why I used to always tell the choreographers ki, sir, aise dance mat karna that you and me both look like fools. Let's talk about more body language, style, and keep it that way. And at the same time, I also, most of them, a lot of them, Rekha Chini Prakash ji, Ahmed Khan got their first Filmfare awards because of my songs.
Yeah.
That says a lot about how they portrayed you
And the
their
styling
talent.
of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the moves.
Yeah.
Those jerky moves,
Jerky moves, yeah.
shaking the head one side,
Yeah,
body
yeah.
one side.
That was more aerobics. If you look at it today and you see dance today, my God, these kids know how to dance.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God we are nowhere.
But you were very fluid in your dance moves.
No.
You were.
Thank God.
You're just being very modest.
No, I'm
right
not.
now.
I'm not. Thanks to people like you, believed I survived. And my music survived.
So when you were told to do those moves,
I couldn't
how long did you didn't like it?
No, I the thing is, I used to be very embarrassed of doing rehearsals. I used to refuse to do rehearsals. On the set, 30, 40, 50, so the girls had to wait for half an hour, 1 hour, just to get one step of mine right. I used to do it alone, and then I'd ask them to come. And once the director said, "Theek hai na?" I would say, "Theek," and I would walk away. कि chance ही नहीं दूँ. And my argument was, उनको कैसे पता left है कि right है? Why are you all forcing that upon us? So, I managed.
But even though you did martial arts, you were still not.
It wasn't to the beat of music. Martial arts is to heartbeat.
Ah.
Every punch is to the breath. So even if I did kathas, I was brilliant in the kathas. Non-dance format. I could never understand beats in music.
4 and 8
fast.
and-
1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's my heartbeat and my speed and my breathing, and I'm outstanding. I'd look like one of the finest dancers in the country. But the minute beat came on, I was out.
What about Kalaripayattu? You didn't do it.
Kalaripayattu, I didn't do Kalaripayattu, but I was in the traditional form of martial arts called the Okinoi Gozuri style of martial arts, and which was a lot about kathas, a lot about breathing, a lot about discipline, a lot about strength and understanding and knowing your own strengths. And so I think all that, the love for sport, my background, all that is something that gave me this life in a world that wasn't otherwise ours.
I was reading
know?
a tweet by Varun Sanyal, who's qualified till the quarterfinals in MMA, and he was saying, like many people say that martial arts in India, they still people aren't sure because they think are non-violent. So you're saying Shakta tradition is that. Martial arts is part of Indian tradition. Not many people know about it.
Absolutely. Go up north, south, east, west, and every Odisha, every state has a form of martial arts.
Yeah.
It could be dance and martial arts, but it is martial arts, and Kalaripayat is a shining example of that.
How old were you when you started learning?
I think I was 11 or 12 when I started martial arts.
Gosh, where? In Mangalore?
In Mumbai.
In Mumbai.
Yeah, I was all along in Mumbai.
Okay.
My birthplace is Mangalore, so mom had gone for delivery. But after that, it's
If
that
you go to
twice,
Mangalore,
thrice.
people think you're a Mangalorean. Nobody believes that.
Everybody believes that I'm, I was born and raised there.
Yeah.
But I was raised here. That's why my Marathi is so good and, things like that.
You met your wife in Mangalore or
No,
in
Mumbai.
Bombay?
In
Mumbai.
Bombay.
It's a marriage which, these days when you talk about longevity in relationships and all, your partnership with your wife, I call it partnership
Absolutely.
simply because long marriages are partnerships.
Yeah, true.
She has been a force for you, right?
Absolutely.
Like when you talk to your mother, grandmother, your wife and daughter too.
Bang on, 100%. She's always been there for me. 9 years before we got married, seeing each other, parents absolutely against it. My first shoot, and I go to Ooty, is the first time my father, she comes to drop me to the airport, dad comes to drop me to the airport, mom is in America. Before that, it was an absolute no-no. They've seen her, they're not keen for the marriage to happen. And I'm very clear that I won't get married. I won't get married to her, but I won't get married either. Because if you force me to, I'll be destroying two lives and it's not fair. So I was very clear about that and they understood that. The minute I went off to Ooty, Mana had come to the airport and I was with dad because she was in the car and waving and dad said, go say bye to her.
Oh. Yeah.
From there, then I left Ooty. There were no mobile phones and we had to make calls to connect and stuff. Ooty was a 7-8 hour journey because the climb and I reached the hotel and I called her house up and they said she's not there. She's not home. She's gone in the morning. She didn't come back because Mana's mom and me were very, very close. And I said, okay, no call. Then at night, 9:30, 10, she hadn't reached home. And I left in the morning around 9, 10 o'clock. And I called my house. And Mana picked up. I was confused. I said, but I called home and they said, you're not there. So she said, I'm not at home. She said, where do you call? And I said, where did I call? I called home. And she said, yeah, I'm at home.
Yeah.
Dad had taken her home.
Okay.
And for 10 hours, she was with him. And he wouldn't let her go. After that, 60 days of shoot. And all 60 days, she spent with him. He used to call her home in the evening, sit with her and chat with her. And till his dying day, he couldn't do without her. Everything for him was Mana. And the relationship they shared,
Yeah.
unbelievable. So, and that's why people keep, he's gone for a while now, but there's so much that my being was him. Of
You're
course,
tearing
mom.
up.
Yeah, because I still miss him. I still feel that void, which is massive, because there's so much he had taught me. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
To just let go, give, let live, keep doing what you can. You don't need to talk about it. In his own way he did things. And when I talk to Ahan and Atiya also, I keep reminding them whenever they say, it's so tough, it's this, it's that. I say, just imagine Ajja at the age of 9. See that little boy going to school, he was cleaning tables for you. For us, to be able to think that he could educate 2 children, 2 girls, send them abroad. Forward thinking to another level. People, how will you send your girls abroad? You know what happens in America. Those were those times. But he did it.
And he probably never said, right, I've
No,
done this for
no,
you.
No, never, ever. That's why you appreciate. That's why it's a part of your DNA. Ki, chodna. If you're doing good, people will know. We don't need to tell anybody. And that's what I honestly believe in. You know, and I honestly believe. Today when I was seeing, I was reading Mr. Singhania saying, you know, I don't believe Raymond's is a complete man. I mean, it was straight reminding me of Dad always said, you're a complete man when your family is complete and the people around you are complete. You know, whoever you can touch, if you can touch, that's a complete man. And he says, I'm not a complete man because I have not had time to spend with my grandchildren. So just imagine, they always say, Mool se sood pyara. You know, and it's a living example of a billionaire family that says, I'm not complete. And my tagline goes, I'm a complete man. So I think that's why I tear up, because everything today that is coming back after this virtual world, the good that comes out, I said, shit, he did this then so naturally and he didn't even let us know.
Yeah.
You know, and even when he was unwell, I'd go to him and tell him, Papa, you do this, you do this. He'll smile and he used to hold my hand so tight, you know, leave his marks on my hand only. And even when he used to sleep, I used to get out, then get out. You know, and I spoke to him. I spoke to him all the time because I knew he would hear, he would understand.
And it's one of the most difficult things to let go.
Unfair.
Yeah.
It's very unfair because they are suffering.
Yeah.
You know, a man who's so active in bed with only one side working, can't speak. Oh, but yeah.
I just saw an interview that Pankaj Tripathi had done recently. He lost his father. And it's the same way. He left home. Father was back in the village. And then, you know, the father passes away. And he says, he also belongs to the generation, you know, like we probably tell our children, I love you all the time even. But we belong to a generation where
never
those words were
not there, didn't exist. And that's why I make an attempt all the time to make sure that I'm physical with Ahan. I'm very physical with Ahan. Just last week he was lying down and I said, Babu, what are you doing? Just tired, so I'm relaxed. I said, okay. The minute I removed my shoes, he lifted his blanket. You know, and I went in and I hugged him and I fell asleep. And I didn't realize. And he was quiet the way he was. And then he says, you were tired, huh?
Yeah.
So I said, yeah. He says, yeah, because you were fast asleep. I said, oh, this is something that I've always wanted. And a father has to make that attempt. Because they weren't able to do it. Like that generation didn't do it.
Yeah.
Thea and me, of course, very physical. I'm the same with Rahul.
Yeah. So for overseas viewers, especially Americans who are not aware about who KL Rahul is, he's this phenomenal cricketer, and Sunil's daughter is married to Rahul. So I'm going to come to that part of your life. You know, before I come to your relationship with your son-in-law, which is magical, when I hear you speak about him and when I've seen you feel so much love towards your son-in-law, like a son. I'm going to get to that part. But before that, you know, something that you mentioned, you're so expressive when you're talking right now about your father, about your daughter, about your son. And yet that critic actually who wrote about you said you're non-expressive. That you
Absolutely.
how did that happen? Why?
Wouldn't. Probably I couldn't express it. I'm not a camera person, probably. You know, you're bringing out things in me that that probably touches the right chord, and I wasn't able to express that. Of course, it's a journey. I never acted. I didn't know what the camera was. I was nervous. People around me made me nervous. Somewhere down the line, a Dharmesh Darshan comes into my life, and I do a dhadkan, and he says, "You know what? Feel. There's nothing else you do." And he used to act, and he used to give the background score. And the first day I looked at him and I said, "My God, this is going to be one experience here. Somebody is giving background score and singing and dancing and doing." And then I realized the man is obsessed with what he's doing. He is the real man. He's the one who's understood cinema and not us. And I think from that day onwards, whether it was comedy or this, they would definitely not say, and nor would I say, that I'm the best around there. But there was an honesty in everything I did. Everything I did after Dhadkan and after films like Border had a heart.
I was about to say that.
I was there in the character, however he may be, you know. But I've felt the characters. I've always felt the characters I've done, and I continue to do that. Even in this journey of mine, with whatever little I'm doing, whether it's Dharavi or whether it was Hunter, I've given 100% of myself to those characters. You know, and
Yeah. It's very evident
yeah.
from what you're doing that you're feeling it. You're living it more than feeling it. You're living that. Dharavi was that.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
and even after Dad's death, I'm living a real life. I've got no real bit in me. It's what Dad has taught me, what my roots are. I'm honest. I'm brutally honest. I don't care. I'm fearless. And that has come after his death. You know what? You need to be who you are, and you need to express yourself the way you are. I don't interfere. I'm in my own world, which is a beautiful world, and I'm happy. And I'm not there to keep to make sure that I have to keep others happy because they believe in a particular way. I'm
Yeah.
away
Let's
from
get to
all
cricket. Now, honestly, tell me, did you manifest Rahul as a son-in-law in your life?
Probably I did.
You- Yeah?
Because I was a huge fan of his when I used to watch him play. And I'm someone who probably has an eye better than 99% of the selectors anywhere in the world of cricket. Even today when I travel and I see boys play at a Maidan and I know, arey yaar, aur 20 minute hai, I'd park the car, sit there and watch them play. Because of my obsession for the sport, the only thing I wanted to do in my life was play for the country. I couldn't. I wasn't talented enough, or politics was too strong in Maharashtra that I couldn't make it anywhere. But I was good at what I did. I was a natural. So I understand talent. So always loved Rahul for the way he played. And then he's a Mangalore boy, so it's special. You know, anything about Mangalore. You'll see me following also half of the people is the Mangalorean kids that I would follow. And why not? Because, you know, Durga Ma gave me that opportunity. She sent me there and said, perform. You know, you don't belong there, but you will be sincere. And given me everything.
Yeah.
I mean, today, Manmohan, Shetty, all of them have come from those regions.
Yeah.
We've never thought of it.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity. So if I believe I can encourage someone, I go ahead and
Because I
do
think
that.
essentially we are, I don't know, maybe it's true or not, but what I see of the earlier generation of my family, you know, very laid back, non-competitive, kar
Yeah,
lenge,
absolute.
ho jayega. Maybe it's a coastal thing.
Absolute.
Even though there are
True.
bankers and the Udupi, you know, so many achievers,
Absolute.
But-
even they.
but they won't crush another one to go ahead.
They never would. And that's
Yeah.
why they stay there. You know, you see them, when you talk about Sundaram Shetty, you talk about a legend out
Yeah.
there, you know. When I talk about Manmohan Shetty, for me, as far as this film industry is concerned, absolute legend. No film would have released if Manmohan Shetty was a hardcore businessman. He let go every film, ad labs, and he would let go everything. When I used to sit with him and talk to him and see him do business with others, I used to be in awe of him. I said, how is this man like this?
Yeah.
He's all heart. ठीक है हो जाए चलो रिलीज हो जाएगी अब टेंशन मत लेना. I mean, you're taking care of the whole world. I think that's the culture of temple and feeding and you know free education and free that becomes a part of your system.
Yeah.
You know, and that is what has happened.
Yeah.
You know, iji amma tu per mande vechamal porchi. You know,
Yeah.
Bhutas will say ki no, all will be good. You've done something wrong. Then you start saying kya kiya maine kuch galat kiya kisko kya bola. And then you start correcting all that and improving. So not realizing that you're improving as a human being also. you know? So,
very much, yes.
Yeah.
All that you're saying is very much part of what I have grown up and learned and things.
even after achieving, being humble, being whatever it may be, for you also a position that is at one time people took advantage of that and how.
Yeah.
You know?
They climb over you and then
Yeah.
you just wonder. And then your instinct and your culture is to not be aggressive.
True.
But then you realize कि भाई सब लोग तो आगे बढ़ गए हम रह गए, you know. So those things happen and then you realize that you need to carve a niche for yourself. You cannot be them.
Yeah.
So I've seen that in you. When Rahul gets trolled, and he will, all successful people, this is the age of social media. Does it hurt you?
Very, very much. Probably more than it hurts him. Probably more than my own trolls would hurt me. You know, the way the children are, they would never talk about anything. Let it be. Dad, my bat will talk. And it's spoken. The faith of the people, the faith of the captain, the selectors in him said it all. So we've never ever said anything. But trust me, it hurts me 10 times or 100 times more than it would hurt Rahul or Atya or anybody else. As parents, it's I think only Rahul's parents and we who would go through more than what even the kids would go through.
And it's easier for you to be probably silent when you are trolled, but to be silent when your son or daughter or son-in-law is trolled.
Absolutely.
It's harder, I guess, right?
Absolutely. And I've always known why it's happening and everything, but my children have always said, Dad, quiet, karma, quiet. But you know, there are two sides to a Shetty boy. Calm, quiet, Atidhi Devo Bhava. But even in Mumbai, when they asked us to get out and try to put us out, they couldn't do
Lungis
it.
and things.
They couldn't do it.
Yep.
Nobody could do it. Because we were true to what we did. We didn't go anywhere else. They were also the most dreaded boys in Mumbai. Shetty log, अरे यार gangster log होते.
Yeah.
It's only when you push somebody against the wall, the other side, the warrior side of it comes out. So it's a
those,
very clear message.
Overseas Indians who don't know much about that, you need to probably Google and read a little bit about what it was like when there was like the Mangaloreans or the Kannadigas were considered outsiders and were told to leave Mumbai. It was called Bombay then. It was like this thing that it should be only for Bombay walas and it should not be for outsiders. But without shedding a blood, made a niche for ourselves and stayed on in this city. And I know for a fact that, you know, there were so many of my cousins who were studying out here, my entire clan who had come because everybody moved from Mangalore and came to, you know, to the world of Bombay to make it. And there was that talk at that time that should we return back? Should we go back? Those who had bought land and those who stayed. So there's a resilience to the Bunt spirit also, I see.
Absolutely. And that's why I say there's two sides. There's the man and the boy. The man is also there and the boy also exists.
Yeah.
The boy exists because the boy is feeding everybody at the right price. This margin. Today when the Udupis have closed, people have realized, yeah, महंगाई बहुत बढ़ गई है. लेकिन जब उडुपियाँ थी, हर एक from any part of the country would go there, eat
Meals.
their meals, be treated like they are family and out. Cleanest. They talk about McDonald's being fast food. We were super fast food. Order से पहले वो side पे खाना आ जाता था, served, not self-service.
Yeah.
You know, so
And there's unlimited.
Unlimited. So there is the two sides to us.
True.
So
But
like
what
I said,
about Rahul? Is he modeling himself on Dravid style, Virat style? What would you say?
No, I think, you know, all the South boys finally model themselves on their own heroes. It probably people see a lot of Dravid in him. I see in his game, I see a lot of, J.R. Vishwanath, legendary Vishwanath. If it's
Swashbuckling.
the late cards or everything. Or if you see Dravid, then the temperament.
Dravid and Vishwanath totally different. Vishwanath ka, I mean, as a kid, I would like, please stay on, man, don't go.
Exactly.
That I
exactly.
find with Rahul. I find myself tweeting, I'm sorry to say this, but I find myself tweeting, yaar, jaldi kar. And then I say, but Ren, stay.
You have to stay. Exactly.
Stay.
You have to have that.
I didn't have social media in the 70s, but I would say that to Vishwanath.
Yeah.
Maar le, but ruk le. Don't
Because
leave.
otherwise there are collapses that you see,
But there was a Vengsarkar on the other side.
Yeah.
When Vishwanath was playing, there was a Vengsarkar who was slow and steady and was there.
Yeah, no, and that's why these are the players you will always remember. No?
Yeah, correct.
For their technique. And that's why I said I always, when you said manifest, I would say probably it happened because I had watched him play. I was a fan of his then. I'm a fan of his cricket even now. He may be my son, but I am still his fan. You appreciate something in someone and, you probably, there's something about him that you want to say, can I bring that about him
But do
myself?
you advise
I'm not
that?
talking. No, never.
Inchamampla, Anchamampla.
No, never. You can't, because each one has that USP and that's why they are in the team. Rahul for what he is good at, Surya for what he is good at, Virat for what he is good at, Rohit for what he is good at and what he's done to Team India and the World Cup. I mean, this is the first time I feel, in spite of losing the finals, they have won every heart in this country. This is the first time that I meet people and people say, what a team, yaar. वरना हार और जीत से ही मतलब था.
But did you really think that they would lose? I mean, I didn't think they would lose.
I don't think even they thought. Even I don't think they thought they'd lose.
Your 10 straight wins.
Yeah. And wins and how? I mean, they were a masterclass in team in team spirit. Unbelievable.
What do you feel at that time when they were trolled and they were, I mean, let's get to the trolling later, but when, remember that shot when Virat was given the man of the series, when he goes up to pick up the trophy, you don't see a joy in him at all, because for him, he would have preferred to win for his team.
Absolutely.
No.
But that's the beauty of this team, country above everything else. And that's why the respect. That's why the love, the affection that you've seen. For me, Rohit today is probably where Dhoni stands.
Okay.
Because.
But I miss Dhoni that time.
Everything Rahul did was selfless.
Rohit
did was selfless. I mean, it was for the team.
Yeah.
It's very easy to say, okay, that moment he should have. That moment you're out there with a lakh and a half people cheering and wanting you to go, and you say, you know what, let me just continue it that way. But he played that. He could have stuck on and scored his hundreds also, but he said, let me give that team 18-90 run start and they take off. So all of them, whether it's Rohit or Shubman or Virat or Shami or Bumrah or Kuldeep coming back after so many years, being out, Jadeja.
Yeah.
Can't ask for a better team.
They fielded well, they bowled well, they batted well.
One bad day in 45, so.
But the 1 lakh audience, what do you think? Because Australian media was very critical about the Ahmedabad audience. Some in the Indian media were saying that they were not sportsmanlike. What did you say?
I think, it's the final. And we haven't won too many in the last few years. So they were emotional. And happens anywhere in the world. You see soccer. You see rugby in Australia, in England.
Yeah.
They beat each other up. They're bleeding. We've not done anything like that. You're cheering for your team. And Team India and the audience cheers for Team India anywhere in the world.
True.
When the ICC puts out that thank you, India, for being the number one audience in the world of sport, the maximum audience ever that has attended a sporting event. What do you say to that? So will I look at it that way, or will I look? We are emotional, yeah.
I watched a cricket match in Australia. I watched it in England. I've sat among them and I've seen they are abusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not. I didn't see any abuses that day.
No, not at all. And why is a Warner in India? Why was a Shane Warne? What is a Watson, or what is a Smith? It was Virat Kohli who said,
Yeah.
clap for that boy.
Yeah.
What has happened has happened. It's a mistake. It probably would have happened. They weren't doing that in England.
Yeah.
The minute Virat said stop, when they were booing him because of, would have Warner been able to play it anywhere else in the world if he hadn't come to India first?
Yeah.
It was the Indian audience that said, chalo bhool gaye.
Yeah.
See, it's very convenient for people to speak the way they want to because of the moment. Can they go back and say, who has accepted each one of you and in the IPL made you all bigger stars than you could ever dream of?
Yeah.
Why is Warner doing all those Indian dances and stuff like that? Because
Why
you know,
you never gone and done commentary? Tell me. You know so much about cricket.
I'd love to, but I think now having a child out there, it's dangerous because people will take it either way.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you hear that comment when the camera panned to Anushka and Atiya sitting in the audience and Harbhajan said that are they discussing films or are they discussing cricket ki baatein ho rahi hai?
No, I didn't. I read about it, but clueless otherwise.
Yeah.
Clueless otherwise. And sometimes what happens is in the moment, you believe it's humor and you say something, and the rest of the media
It can
takes
just
it
blow
different
up
way. So only only Baji knows how he said it and why he said it,
Okay.
and I'm sure he'll answer.
Are you guys superstitious that if I go, he will score? If I stand up, he'll score 50. If I sit down, he'll score 100.
You bet I am. I haven't moved out of the house. Mana and me have been in one room. Nobody was allowed in that room. I have sat on the floor watching the entire World Cup, every game, fingers crossed, legs folded, and that's the way it has been.
Seriously? You're that-
Throughout.
Okay.
I am that kind. Hilmat, I'll say. So, and nobody was
वो चाय
allowed.
लेके आती है तो out हो जाता है
Yeah,
वो। Yeah.
I think we all Indians are.
We all Indians are, right?
Yeah. And that's why we behaved the way we behaved in Ahmedabad. If we behave, they say we behave. It was us expressing our emotions. We are not against anybody.
To explain this to a foreign audience, really, Sunil, like I would have to say 30 million people stood and watched, 20 million people sat and watched.
Absolutely. No, but the players can only vouch for that. Whether it's a Warner, they love him here. Whether it's a Malinga, whether it was a Sangakkara, whether it was any of the Caribbean players from the Caribbean, they get maximum love here.
Yeah.
They continue to come here. Whether it's the commentators who come, international commentators who came here, how much love?
Yeah.
So you can't blame us for, not supporting you, but supporting
Look at
Team
when
India.
Pat Cummins went back. He was अपना ही luggage लेके जा रहा है, and there was like no band, baja, barat. Can you imagine if a victorious captain coming back to India, what that would have been?
Even if he would have come alone, Rohit was outside, and Rohit would have come alone. All of Mumbai would be there, but half of India would have also been there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And I mean, what BCCI has done for cricket
Yeah.
in India and otherwise, have their sporting
Is there too
boards?
much money, Sunil? Is it harmful to cricket to have too much money?
No. There's no harm to money and sport as long as they're putting it into the infrastructure, and I see that happening all the time. I mean, I go through grounds across India and see the kind of stadium. We have world-class stadiums across the country. I mean, where did a Rinku Singh come from yesterday and hit a six? Where would you have ever seen a Rinku Singh otherwise? Would that child from that small town, someone in UP, get that opportunity?
Yeah.
It's thanks to the infrastructure,
Yeah.
thanks to the sports, thanks to the money. Cricket and women in India probably deserve what they are getting.
Yeah.
I mean, see how exciting the first league of the women's cricket
And
league was.
everything is emotional with cricket.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of flack on social media and even traditional media about the Prime Minister going into the dressing room and meeting with the Indian team. As somebody who has family in the team, as somebody who's, obsessed about cricket, how did you feel at that moment?
Have people commented earlier when the Prime Minister had gone for the smallest of events that have happened, even for at a national level with sport, to meet the very people? Whether it was the Paralympics or the Prime Minister has gone everywhere. So as per convenience, we cannot talk. I think it was which Prime Minister earlier in the history has ever gone and touched upon a sporting hero before. Maybe a phone call has gone or they've been called to the center. I thought it was a beautiful gesture, and he continues to do that not only for cricket. He continues to do that with every sportsman or every achiever in the country. Whether you look at it as publicity or whether you look at it as, nahin yaar, great. But there are always two ways of looking at something. The people, the opposition will always look at it in a different. But that's okay. I thought it was a beautiful. It was a beautiful gesture.
You interact very naturally with people. I've noticed. I saw this one video where there was this delegation of film actors who met with Yogi Adityanath, and whereas most people were like correct because they didn't express themselves, you were very strong in what you said, and you said this boycott Bollywood business is not right. You didn't get intimidated by the persona of the Chief Minister. You honestly put your viewpoint. What do you think is the solution to this? Why are people so angry with Bollywood, and do you think that Bollywood might have done something to deserve it? What is it?
I think it was a movement that happened. A lot of things were happening with Bollywood, and the Bollywood hashtag Bollywood boycott Bollywood was a bought movement that was happening to damage what was happening, further damage what was already happening in our city. But when I spoke to Yogi ji, I was honest with what I said, and the first thing he said कि राम भगवान पे भी उंगलियां उठती है, भगवान पे भी उंगलियां उठती है, तो हम तो इंसान ही हैं, and took it very, very positively. What is the outcome? Does the hashtag exist anymore? Randomly 10 people putting that out now doesn't make sense anymore, and it never made sense then. So I honestly believe it was a movement. We went through a bad patch. We were also projecting ourselves not in the right way at times, being a little brash and conversations that probably weren't meant for national networks were being put out like that, so being perceived that way. That's not the way it is, and that's what I said even that day.
Did they all get together and say, Sunil ji, aap boliye? Or did you just...
No. Dada and me were together, and Dada and me just discussed one thing. Sab मांग रहे Dada. सब मांग ही रहे, तो हमें क्या बोलना है? तो दादा, जैकी दादा being Dada said, सर हम कुछ दे नहीं सकते आपको, घर आ जाइए, वेजिटेरियन खाना एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी खिला दूंगा. That's the beauty of Jackie Dada.
Yeah.
And all I said was, sir, you want us to come there, but at the same time there is this ban that is happening. So where do we go? All we need is respect. And it was taken so beautifully. And things have changed. So much has changed for us.
Yeah. So you're not really a spokesperson of traditional Bollywood, but you took it upon yourself to speak on behalf. Because the reason I'm asking you simply is that there are many things that happen, and you expect people from the film industry to speak out, but they don't. And when you speak to the film actors, they say that अगर हम बोले तो बुरे.
Which is true.
हाँ.
हम बोले तो बुरे, नहीं बोले तो बुरे.
Right.
और हर सब्जेक्ट पे जो हमारी मास्टरी है नहीं, उस पे बोलना ज़रूरी नहीं है. हर बात पे यू एक्सपेक्ट बॉलीवुड टू, लेकिन जब भी हमारी ज़रूरत पड़ी है कहीं भी, एक्टर्स ही तो आगे आते हैं. आप हर सिचुएशन में देखिए बॉलीवुड आगे आएगा ही आएगा.
Yeah.
But then why is it? So And I blame that, you know, to social media.
Huh.
You know, I blame social media for that because 90% of the time you don't even know who's tweeting against you, who's trolling you, what is the reason.
Yeah.
You know, आप मुझे
You
पहचान
get a lot of adoration about your physical fitness on social media.
Yes.
Everybody talks about it. So I have to get to that part and tell me. So was that like a conscious decision at some point of time that it's what your business demands, or something that you wanted to do because of wellness of being?
I think I always wanted to play sport for the country. That's where it began. Then it went to martial arts. That's where discipline came in. And once you're disciplined, you get discipline into your life. Anything and everything is something that you can very easily achieve. You know, because you know I am going to do this. In that journey, I read, I understood food. You know, and I understood that to stay healthy, to stay fit, 28 states, 9 union territories, so much available. It doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be available at that time. What is seasonal is healthy. What is not seasonal is unhealthy. Which means preserved versus fresh. And that's the way I looked at it. And when I started balancing all that, it started working beautifully. Then I started aging. You see people, you realize what happens when you age. You know, the hunch, the excessive weight, the slow movements of the leg, the balance. I started working on that to delay the process and not stop the process. You know, it's not anti-aging, but it's delaying the process of aging. I am 63 today. I know what is in store for me. 5 साल खींच सकता हूँ क्या? What is the kind of work that I want to do? ये action कर सकूँगा क्या? आज action में मैं 10 rehearsal नहीं करता. I watch, I see it, एक quiet rehearsal करता हूँ और 10 rehearsal की energy एक take में दे देता हूँ.
Right.
You know, तो वैसे करता हूँ. देखिए ये चीज़ मैं कर सकूँगा, करने पे इंजरी हो सकती है, तो आप taking इसकी ऐसे करिए.
But without
Technically,
muscle memory, how will you do it? How can you, like, unless you do it 3 times, 5 times?
no, action is something that's a part of my DNA. It's unbelievable how I can break down action and I do it. And I swear, you see me, you'll say, really? But because it is that muscle memory that is coming into play. So I'll do it very slowly. I don't need to do anything just to save myself. Not that I can't do it. But injury ke baad my recovery will take 10 times more. So then I need to understand recovery, food, recovery, warm-ups, recovery, cool-downs. I still play cricket. I play all day of cricket if I have to. But my warm-up, if the kids are warming up in 10 minutes, I'll take 45 minutes to warm up. I'll need the physio. Ki yaar stretch karo, you know, fielding ke time pe ye karo. So once you're aware of that and theek hai, you're younger, you're fitter, you're smart, I leave it to that. I don't have that ego.
So what did you take out of your food and what did you add on as years went by?
I balance my food. I quantify my food. It could be anywhere between 1500 calories to 2000 calories. You know, I fluctuate. If I'm doing action, I add more carbohydrates, in the sense my rice and stuff like that I add. If I'm not...
Oh, so you don't say no to rice?
I eat rice twice in a day.
Oh, so you're going back to your roots, that means?
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
that don't do...
No. All the don't do doesn't exist in mine.
Okay.
We're coastal people, the fish protein comes in. I've reduced the quantity of oil. Probably my oil consumption in a day is 15 to 20 grams per day in the entire food, and that's it. Which means
That's hard.
it's... Yeah. No, it's not hard. When
You steam your fish and you steam your veggies.
Yeah, and...
Add the tadka.
Yeah, the tadka. And it's coconut oil. It's no other oil. Everybody says coconut oil, fatty, heart kill. It's coconut oil that I use. Olive oil if it's a cold oil. Other than that, if I have good fat, if I could put in an avocado, a little bit of cheese or whatever, I do that. I balance. I have understood it. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've understood it. And I know how my waste is not a waste, but is a waste. You know, so I'm clear about all that and I follow that, and it's so simple. It's
But
so
what about
simple.
family? Like, does your wife eat the same? Do your
All of
kids
them.
eat the same?
All of them.
All
of
are
us,
healthy eaters.
including mom. Mom is 85 and you see her, touch wood, she's beautiful, you
Okay.
know, and so much lakshan in that face. See, when you start dieting and you don't eat right, you lose that lakshan of the face. That has to stay put.
Huh.
You know, that has to stay put, and that only food can do. And
I love the way you
natural.
say Lakshana. It's so Arbari Lakshana. You know that eyes that they
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So that's how.
Yeah. So let's get back to your films that you have acted. There were these string of action movies that you were doing, and then you did that. You made that shift. You did comedy. You did thinking guy roles. That comic timing was phenomenal between you, Paresh Rawal, and Akshay. Right? So when you did that, did you think that you could do it, or did somebody tell you that you could do it?
No, I was always aware. My friends always told me, because I am that character when it comes to my school and my friends.
Okay.
You know, I'm that character who's housed down, and they believe that, yeah, because I'm always pulling someone's leg.
That
and,
was such a
you know,
goofball kind of guy.
Yeah, because it was written so beautifully. That's
Yeah.
where the that's where the Priyadarshans and the Neeraj Voras make a difference.
Yeah.
Intelligent writing. That's when a director is a writer himself,
Huh.
without knowing the language, can deliver something like this. Actors like Paresh, their timing helps you so much more.
Yeah.
And if you see, all my characters that I've worked have been very situational. It's
Huh.
not necessarily my performance. I'm very poker faced, I'm very straight, I react, differently. But it's the situation that has worked. So then the choice of films were right.
Yeah.
I've done disasters also. That shift also happened because even though my films were working, when I came back home, the films didn't work. After showing my parents the film, or my wife and mother the film, or my daughter the film, when I came back home and said, how was it? And they said, very good, very good. Then they say, Ramu, Saradon hai to de do ek. And I heard that. यानी सर में दर्द हुआ है, बेटी की फिल्म है तो अच्छी लगी है. I said, I need to change. I need to bring that, because I'm sure a lot of it. Because when we do action, हमको लगता है चलते रहने दो action, but that's not the way it is. It's right doses and it works. That's why I made the change. But with that, I saw a lot of failure also, non-acceptance of the kind of films.
How did you cope with that?
I asked for it. I did it, and that was the reason. See, there's a lot of love Sunil Shetty has. Across the country, you take any kid with me, you'll be shocked with the amount of love I get. Even taking into consideration a today's generation kid. But that kid also sells tickets. I don't sell tickets, which means I had messed up somewhere. I didn't give quality products. I started doing anything and everything, and then after a while they say, "प्यार करता हूँ लेकिन पैसे नहीं दूँगा तेरे लिए." I think that's what happened in my journey, and so I'm aware of all that. But that it hasn't stopped me from the way I want to live my life, because mentally I'm at a different space. ठीक है ना? 100 आए, 10 टिके हुए, 90 have gone down the drain. I still have love.
Yeah.
I still have the media talking about you. If you see cinema-wise, I'm irrelevant since 2014. What have I done that is earth-shattering? Nothing. But I'm still written about. So there's a reason.
I've still been wanting to interview you for 8 months now.
So that is a blessing.
Yeah.
That is a blessing. So that means there is more to you than just being an actor.
Yeah.
Someone who's giving back, someone who's making a difference, someone who's probably impacting a few people.
Sunil, you make things look easy. Let me say this to you. Your success, your failures, you make it look easy to cope with a failure. You make easy to handle success. Let me say it that way. Because I've seen so many people who would have a failure, but they just don't have the wherewithal to cope with that. So I'm going to come to the mental makeup of actors. They're sensitive people because you need to be that. If you're not sensitive, you cannot emote. So what happened with that spate of suicides that took place? Did it scare you that what is happening around me?
It scares me even today.
Yeah.
This virtual world scares me. Because children are living in a world that doesn't exist. And thankfully, I see a lot of real people wanting to be real now, coming out with what they are. See, it's very easy to be happy. But it's very difficult to show that you're happy. मैं खुश हूँ यार. दाल चावल, माँ ने दाल चावल बनाया, अचार अच्छा था, fresh mango chutney mom made, and I'm done. No, ma, I don't want anything else. I'm happy. लेकिन सोशल मीडिया में दिखाने के लिए चटनी भी चाहिए और 4 डिशेस चाहिए, फ़ोटो सही रहना चाहिए, गर्मी उसकी चली जाती है, ठंडे के बाद हम खाना तो आप खुश कहाँ रहोगे? सो लेट्स स्टॉप living for the virtual world, and it's a very simple thing. Actually stop living for the virtual world, you'll be in a better space. Always looking for collabs to push out. I mean, we're living for that world. Everything about us is social media. अरे मैं कहा बिल्डिंग देखने जाएंगे तो अरे यार let me, I have to tell people I'm here. पहले अपनी आँखों से तो देख लो, उस कैमरा को तो यूज़ कर लो. तो आई ऑनेस्टली बिलीव दैट द प्रेशर इज द सोशल मीडिया. अरे इन्फ्लुएंसर बनेंगे तो इतने पैसे आएंगे, ये आएगा तो ये होगा. पीपल आर नॉट prepping themselves for what they want to do. At least educate yourself, for the profession that you want to follow. By chance सब much होने देना. Sunil Shetty by chance actor बना, but I worked towards it. Death-defying stunts की मैंने, I did everything. I mean, I did a hell of a lot to survive out there. Your X factor you have to see. Otherwise, everybody is the same. Everybody, brands, products have made all of us look the same. Everything about us is
I saw
becoming
that
similar.
article that you wrote in LinkedIn. It was because you're mentoring, whether intentionally or whether people reach out to you. And I saw Kamat's thing also, where there was a lot of advice that you were giving in, because you're a successful businessman yourself. So that advice that don't bother unicorn, don't think about those things. Think about what you want in life. So when you've done several businesses, like in the north we would say bade papad bele hai, right? Some business worked, some didn't. You shut down, you started another. How do you get emotionally attached to a business like a brand? That Mischief is my brand. That didn't work.
I did at one time, but I guess after seeing so much failure, especially businesses that I wasn't handling personally and had invested in, and being an actor, didn't have the time, I saw failure. I understood what failure and why failure is. Failure is when you're not committed to what you're doing. When you don't love your work like your own child. Your child will also not react to you. It will react to mama, or ajja, amma, but not to you, And that's exactly how business is. Now it's different because you meet founders, you see young kids who've got brilliant ideas, who are doing well for themselves, and you just back them to scale them up and give them that mentorship. It's easier today. But it's always been your own craft. And yourself, you have to keep working, keep improving, keep learning. Even with Nikhil, when Nikhil wanted to do the podcast, I said, Nikhil, you're a 40,000, 50,000 crore kid, yaar. What advice will I give you? I can't give you advice. It will be foolish if I say that. If I believe, I'm Sunil. No, that kid has achieved much more than I have probably in the world that he wanted to be and he wanted to achieve, and yet such a simple kid. So I said, let's talk about something that's exciting. He said, health. What is it about Sunil Shetty that you want to be like? What do kids say today? Be an actor like Sunil Shetty? No, this. No, yaar, I want to age like you.
Yeah.
So I tell the kids today, if you see, there's not a single bot on my Instagram. I don't know what I put, I just put it. I have no team that decides what goes and how it goes. But if you see my following, it's all below 35. 80% of it is between 18 and 35. That's the algorithm. That's something that I see. Which means I want to remind every kid कि घर जाके एक ही चीज़ बोलो. Dad यार, सुनील अंकल, सुनील शेट्टी आपसे बड़े और उनको देखो और अपने आप को देखो. ये नहीं क्योंकि डैड को नीचे डालना है और सुनील शेट्टी को बढ़ावा देना है. But to tell, because I know how every child thinks about their parents. They want them to live forever. Yeah. If I've prayed in my life, every night my prayer was only, let my parents live more than even me. So that's the part.
Yeah.
I want kids to go home and say everything is at home. Because dad works from the age of 25 till his dying day to provide. Mom does everything. You're not taking away everything. Mom has got that pedestal in her life. Dads need it too. So it's to tell every child that go home and tell dad, ki, dad, he can do it, you can do it. Because I don't do anything special. I train 45 minutes, 1 hour a day. I eat home cooked food. There's nothing special in my diet at all. That is not available to anybody else. It's available to everybody else and in their backyard. You know, so that's that message that I want to, and that's where this trip of my health has helped me. And every time somebody comes and says, "Sir, yaar, kaise aap fitness manage karte ho?"
There's a loss that is there which prompted this.
Absolute, because my father was working. Of course, he gave me the time, but you know.
Yeah.
There was so much. Every father needs to be told that. That's why I always say, touch that father of yours. You know, माँ बेटे माँ बच्चे तो गोदी में ही रहते हैं हमेशा, और बच्चों को लगता है कि टूटे तो माँ के गोद में चले जाओ. कभी कभी बाप के गोद में जाकर भी देखो. You know that strength, that umbrella, that's that father.
Yeah.
And you need that, especially in India. It's always नहीं यार डैड ये है, डैड स्ट्रिक्ट है कि आपकी अच्छाई के लिए. ऐसा कौन सा बाप है जो बच्चों को गाली देता है या चिल्लाता है क्योंकि उनको शौक है? शौक नहीं है उनको, आपकी अच्छाई के लिए बोल रहे हैं. और इसलिए हमेशा कहते हैं ना, बाप बनोगे तब समझोगे. You know, and that entire Indian middle class हो या कोई भी हो, वो 20 साल से लेके 50 साल की उम्र तक मेहनत ही कर रहा है. हेल्थ का कौन सा जिम जाएगा, क्या करेगा? लेकिन बहुत सारी चीज़ सिंपल भी है जो आप.
But our foods, that's why we are the diabetic capital now. We are cardiac arrest capital of the world. Because our foods and our way of showing love is, lo ek aur gulab jamun kha lo. One more katori of paisa. You know, solpatino. You know, it's eat a little more. True. I know because my father died of a kidney ailment, you know, and my constant thing was don't eat sugar, don't eat sugar. But they don't listen to it, right? They don't, because, and the rest of the family will say, why are you stopping? Because the tendency is to show love with more food. I don't know, maybe it was we didn't have it in our early years or whatever, in ancient times or in medieval times. I don't know which part of our heritage, that the idea of love is to feed, but feed the wrong things because it's harming you.
Yeah, but then when you see the West, it's 1,000,000 times more than junk food. So that's exactly the reason why I'm saying is, I feel it's my mission to say today, to, you know, take care of your health so that everybody else can see कि हाँ यार कुछ नहीं है. Because honestly, I'm telling you, honestly, I don't do anything that is special anymore. I just quantify my food. I do the basics that Ayurveda always said कि खाने के आधे घंटे पहले पानी पियो तो अमृत है, खाने वक्त पियो तो, you know, it's अच्छा लगता है, तुरंत बाद पियोगे तो इट्स पॉइजन, 1 घंटे बाद पियोगे तो बल है, स्ट्रेंथ है. ये बेसिक चीज़ें इंसान फॉलो करेगा तो अपने आप सब चेंजेस आते हैं.
What do you do for, like, food we've done? What do you do for mental peace, for relaxation? Would it be read a book, travel, music? What would you do?
Gardening. Today.
You have a farm or something, right?
I have a farm, but today I've managed to get a little home with a balcony. I grow my greens, all my salads, because we're all salad people. Me, Athiya, Mana, Ahan. For 4 of us, and Rahul when he's there, 5 of us, everything goes from my garden. I grow it at home. Okay. And so
it's organic, I would guess.
100% organic, because it's got nutrients are available in the food waste that we put out of that kitchen.
Okay, you use that.
Yeah,
okay.
So I use that. I ferment that and I use that, and you'll see green like never before.
So it's compost and it's yeah.
Absolute.
Wonderful. Okay, so before I hand you over to what these guys want to ask you, because I can't hog you all the time, I'm going to say one word. Give me an emotion for that. Okay? Kori roti. Okay. Mysore pak.
Don't kill me. How do you know everything that I absolutely avoid?
I'm just
It's the best sweet in the world.
right? Okay. Panamur Beach.
Should be the tourism hub of India.
Good. Gadbad in a glass.
People have no idea what ice cream is.
Correct. It was my first Sunday ever. I don't know if
People, even today, now, go to Mangalore. Now we're going on the 15th. My sister is coming from America. Atiya, all of us are going. Mom will have a gadbad ready. She'll go 2 days earlier and...
I may not finish it, but without
no,
a
I
gadbad.
finish it.
You do? I don't
can
believe
finish
you.
yours also. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think that you don't have sugar.
No. When I let go, but I control.
Okay.
I know if I've done sugar today, what to control the next day. So I manage that. I've got a massive sweet tooth.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Paisa?
Temple,
Ah, correct.
puja, bapanad.
Yeah.
But eating out of the banana leaf.
Yele.
Yeah.
Yele uta. Okay. Tenginkai?
Brown rice.
Okay. So, I didn't realize what a coconut tree means to a South Indian till there was a period I didn't come for 3 years to Uru. And when my plane landed and I saw the tree, I don't know what it was. Do you feel that?
Absolutely. Like they say, Gaumata, for us, it's that coconut tree. Everything about it is banana plantation and coconut, both. If you see everything about it, everything of it is used for something or the other.
If you, my grandmother always used to say every part of that tree is for the well-being of a human being.
Yeah.
Right? So every home had a coconut tree, had a banana plant, and that was an essential. And
the cow.
The cow. Yes.
That
You
was
were
our
done.
being.
Yeah.
That was our being.
Yeah.
That was our being. That's how I grew up too.
So going to grandmother's house meant these three elements.
Absolutely.
Part of it, right?
Absolutely.
And to have food served on a banana leaf, and it's been such an amazing conversation. I just felt so much at ease talking to you. Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of ANI Podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you have seen this or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. Click here to watch the previous episodes.
क्षेत्रों में रहने वाली लोगों के लिए भी हैं।
गिर गया
सभा की कार्यवाही 2 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है। कूदकर सदन के अंदर उतर गए और हाथ में कुछ थी, उसे भारी भड़कम मतलब गैस निकलते थे और थोड़ा मतलब सदन के अंदर हमारे सारे एमपी जितने साथी हैं वो पकड़ लिए दोनों को। कोई सिक्योरिटी वाले नहीं, सारे एमपी उनको पकड़ लिए। तो उसके बाद सिक्योरिटी फोर्स भी उनको बाहर निकल गए थे, निकाले। बाकी तो 2 बजे तक सदन अभी बंद है, एडजर्नमेंट कर दिए गए हैं। लेकिन देखने की बात यह है कि आज सुबह हम सब मिलकर हमारी ये सदन की जो हमला हुई थी 2001 साल में, उन शहीदों को आज हम याद किए, पुष्पार्पण किए और आज ही नया सदन में इस तरीके की हमला हुई। हमला मतलब जो भी हो, लेकिन ये तो मुझे लगता है कि चूक तो है, कहीं ना कहीं चूक तो हुई, सिक्योरिटी में बिल्कुल चूक हुई, हमारे सुरक्षा व्यवस्था में चूक तो है। तो नया पार्लियामेंट में भी कुछ ऐसा हो गया।
they're spreading inside. In Lok Sabha? Inside Lok Sabha.
What happened, ma'am?
I don't know, some people jump down. ऊपर से नीचे आ गया. Jump करके.
और क्या बोले?
Jump करके, अरे we are not counting.
Have you seen, ma'am?
Of course I have seen. Some people jumped down from the gallery. How many persons? And they are trying to run and beat in some kind of gas is being thrown on the inside the house. क्या? वही लोग.
Suddenly two people from the visitors galley jumped into the house. They had canisters in their hand. These canisters were emitting yellow smoke. One was attempting to run towards the speaker's chair. He was overpowered by members, and I do not know, they were shouting some slogans which I couldn't make about. But the fact that there were two people who could come into the visitors galley with canisters which could emit smoke, this smoke could have been toxic, it could have been poisonous, or it could have even been smoke bombs, we do not know. But it emitted an yellow smoke, and this is a serious breach of security, especially on 13th of December, the day in which Parliament was attacked in 2001. How much would have been the age, sir? 20 and 30, young men wearing jeans.
It was a terrible experience. It is inside the floor of the house. Suddenly we found two persons jumped and one is coming gradually forward. What is the target, how, why they are moving like this? Nobody could guess. Suddenly some smoke started penetrating. It's a yellowish color. So all were in a nervous mood. I was expecting maybe they are going to blast something or maybe they are going to shoot somewhere. But ultimately all left the house. It is a security lapse. Today is the day. We should not forget that it is the day of particular when our parliament was attacked. So how they entered into its instruments, releasing smoke, releasing sound, rushing one after one. No security inside the house. They at least jumped, young people.
जितने भी लोग यहाँ पे आते हैं, विजिटर्स हो चाहे रिपोर्टर्स हो, बिकॉज वी डोंट नो कि किसी के टैग्स नहीं है रिपोर्टर्स के, सो एवरीबॉडी इज लाइक यू नो एक दूसरे से टकराते हुए जाते हैं. तो आई थिंक सो गवर्नमेंट को ध्यान देना चाहिए. आई थिंक इट्स अ कंप्लीट सिक्योरिटी लैप्स एंड कुछ भी हो सकता था हाउस के अंदर. एंड मोरओवर जहाँ पे हम खड़े हैं यहाँ पे प्रॉपर वॉच भी नहीं है. एमपीसी कोई सिक्योरिटी.
Today is the anniversary of the Parliament attack. Please keep that in mind. On this day it's happening. It's very, very unfortunate that Indian.
लेकिन हमको लगा कि गिर गया है. जब दूसरा व्यक्ति भी उतर रहा था रेलिंग पकड़ करके कूदने की कोशिश कर रहा था, तब सबके ध्यान में आया. तो इतने इस बीच में सब लोग सतर्क हो गए थे.
आप वहाँ मौजूद थे, मतलब प्रत्यक्षदर्शी तो बहुत सारे थे, लेकिन आप मुख्य
नहीं, मैं चेयर पर था, दूर था मैं थोड़ा सा. मैंने देखा एक कोई नहीं, मैंने बताया ना कि वो कूदा, उसने फिर वो जूता खोलने की कोशिश की, उसमें से कुछ निकाला, एक ने वो पिट करके वो धुआं निकल रहा था उसमें से. इन द मीन टाइम